This is the 40 Days for Life podcast with your host, Sean Carney.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today on the 40 Days for Life podcast. I'm Sean Carney, the president of 40 Days for Life, and your host for this podcast, which is dedicated to helping you end abortion where you live. And today we are just going to help you do that now more than ever. This is the infamous, extremely requested Thanksgiving Day Fried Turkey podcast. But this year, as the downloads on the Thanksgiving podcast continue to climb, of course, year after year, as we would expect, with all the substantive content you will get, both on what to make for Thanksgiving in a couple of days, and also what to be thankful for. We are going to share some unbelievable statistics on abortion closures and the landscape as we, head into December and close out the year. You will get that on the Thanksgiving Day podcast. So welcome, and somebody who is not thankful for anything and is actually very ungrateful is Mr. Steve Carlin.
It's not true. I'm very thankful for Matt.
Yes, General Counsel Matt Britton is here. You're a very...
Steve, I noticed there's 3 people at the table.
Yes, I'm thankful for Matt.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Sometimes it's what you don't say.
I'm thankful for producer John.
Yeah, and everybody.
Yeah, I'm sorry I left him out.
Yeah, and almost everybody else in the room. I'm thankful for you.
Thank you.
Do you hear a noise in the background?
No.
It's like a hum.
Oh, now I hear it again.
Yeah, I think it was like a
I have a beef.
Sean's moving on.
I have a rant. I'm angry about something.
All right.
And I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this earlier this week. I don't get mad at stuff, but I actually started to get perturbed at a reality. So we've done stuff, okay, on the podcast, and we get a lot of feedback. You guys mentioned this. Thank you. I discussed, and we'll discuss in depth, the bourbon brown sugar glazed cranberries, fresh cranberries that Mary Lisa makes every year. A guy wrote in and was like, these were awesome, thank you. So I've poured my heart and soul into this organization. But in one particular area, in discussing fried turkeys and how frying the turkey for the first time in 2017 changed how I looked at turkey. You have said with your great accent, turkey's a trash bird. And I believe that.
Direct quote, yeah.
Dude, yeah. And nobody really gets excited about turkey. It's not like May 18th and you're like, honey, look, I could just crush, some turkey. I'm in the mood for turkey. No one says that. We eat it at Thanksgiving because you have to. Some people do it at Christmas. We don't. But it's not this great bird. Then I deep fry it with the Cajun seasonings. And I've talked about this in depth. And not one viewer or listener has ever written in being like, hey, I actually tried the fried turkey. I did it, and it was awesome. We've never gotten an email on that. Everything else,
that's
the
true.
stupid and the serious that we discuss on this podcast. And I think people are scared because of the stupid internet showing these morons lowering the frozen turkey into the fryer, and it blows up, and they're like, oh, it's really dangerous.
Did you notice how you didn't introduce me because I took your side?
I did introduce you.
No, you didn't.
I said General Counsel Matt is here.
Oh, yeah. And then he didn't introduce me. I'm only on the Thanksgiving podcast because I am very thankful. I'm thankful for y'all. I'm thankful for the board, for Steve, and for the Supreme Court and many things. But I just have been left out.
And for Oliver Wendell Holmes, God rest
many
his
of
soul.
you know and have. The last time I was on was with Nellie Gray when we started the March for Life in D.C.
When did we start the podcast?
I was
2016?
I was 10. Where were you in 1970? I was 10.
Have you ever had fried turkey?
Yes.
You like it?
I like all turkey, and I did like it. I thought it was delicious. I have had one. I think one of the stupidest things I've heard about fried turkey is, but if you overcook it, it gets dry. What method that you overcook wouldn't it be dry?
Well,
like if you
also,
overcook it in the oven,
you got to fry the heck out of that thing. It would be very hard to leave it.
But we've all had fried chicken that's like
Yeah.
hard to get off the bone, right?
But that's rare.
No, it's well done.
Oh, very good.
Oh yes.
If you eat rare turkey, you're gonna not feel.
So
That's what they tell you.
do you
Since nobody ever does,
But
it's
you've
like the
never
trick
done
of
it,
Planned
Steve,
Parenthood,
because-
right? I mean, that's what they tell you, so no one ever does it, right?
Yeah.
You die a violent death, your guts hurt, and you die 3 days later. So who's going to do it? But maybe it's delicious and good for you.
If you're afraid of doing the fryer with the gas, they sell electric turkey fryers that actually aren't that expensive.
Then it just explodes.
No.
It doesn't catch on fire after exploding.
I wouldn't do it inside the house because I lay down like, Mary Lisa is like, this is a redneck. I lay out like the old beach towels on my porch and so get the extension cord and I plug the fryer because I don't want the kids around the fryer because the fryer's on the ground.
Do you have beach towels for when it floods 3 times a year?
Yeah, it's like that.
Okay, yeah. You don't because you don't have a beach.
Yeah.
But
No,
since it's the Harvey,
it's like the old nasty towels in the garage, I go get those and I lay them out so that if any of the oil jumps out, it doesn't get on the porch.
you know, this area of the country, it has tornadoes and hurricanes, floods. It has massive droughts.
A lot of bugs that can kill you.
Along with floods, it has droughts and extreme heat for over 100 days, over 100 degrees. And then it gets freezing cold and everybody's pipes break. So they've got everything.
Yeah, we do have everything.
All 4 poisonous snakes, feral hogs,
Yeah.
scorpions. I once had a scorpion in my shoe at Sean's place.
My in-laws.
Yeah.
What's the spider situation? You have bad spiders?
Bro, I'm not going to lie. I couldn't even tell the kids. I don't know what it was. In my home office, I have the little studio. And the other day, I ran in and I got something and I closed the door. And there was a spider that big. It was one of those, I didn't even have time to analyze it. I wish I would have delayed, but I was like, ah! And it scared me and I smashed it. And then they kind of shrivel up, so I couldn't tell what it was. But if it would have been in the kids' room, because I feel like every night I spend 7 minutes killing a bug because the little girls, there's a bug, it's like the end of the world. They can't function. They won't go take a shower. They won't do anything they're supposed to do because there's a bug. But yeah, we do have some big spiders. So Matt's gone on this rant before, and I listened to it, and I can't really argue against it. But one time, I had a sobering moment where I was like, I think he's got a point. And that is, we had to watch the news.
At one point, get out the calendar.
There was there were some storms coming. Okay, so I turned on the local news, which I never do, and it's 5:30 in the morning, and they're live near my house. Like, go to Bob. We can't believe this development. And it's right off the main road where we live. There was a 14-foot gator that was on the road. And they had the people there to remove it. Of course, I'm just sitting there.
And why wouldn't they? Because the 45 looked like a river.
I know.
That's where gators live.
And I just thought it's very feasible that we could have been out like walking in our neighborhood and looked over the street, seen the gator and just been like, I don't know. Low taxes, I like it here. Everybody in New York's moving here in California. So yeah.
Sure, that's the bar.
But specifically, Steve, we've been doing this for years. You've never fried a turkey.
No. I always travel to family.
Yeah.
That's the one holiday we travel for. One year we didn't, and I smoked a turkey, and everybody liked it. I thought it was just okay. But some year, I'm just going to show up at your house because I want to have the fried turkey.
Well, and
Bring a boat.
Yeah.
we
And a gator
And a gator proof.
we host a lot of random people that have nowhere to go, so it's a little bit of the gathering of the misfits.
So you won't even notice me. I'm a misfit.
No. It'd be totally fun.
Great.
We're happy to do it. It's fun, and the most I've ever had to fry. This was, and Father Doyle was over. We had a lot of people at our house, and I had to do 3 fried turkeys, and my brother-in-law did a ham because we just had.
We had visitors one year, and the visitor decided to buy and leave at our home a turkey smoker and a turkey fryer, and the visitors did all the work.
Oh, that's nice.
And so we baked the turkey, which we're good at. We stuff so you get it's good.
It's good.
Like turkey should be. And they had a fried turkey, a smoked turkey, and a baked turkey in the same year. And the visitors bought the smoker and the fryer and the turkeys and left them with us.
That's really great.
So, I mean, regardless, and I thought that everybody loved the smoked turkey. I didn't. I thought they wrecked the turkey by
It was too dry.
It was too
Smoked like
flavorful. It was like turkey jerky, but it was your meal. It wasn't a snack. I didn't like it.
Look, in all the barbecue places.
And it was dry.
Now I think a lot of the barbecue places will fry turkeys, but there's still some that's like smoked turkey, and it's just not good. You can smoke ribs.
People loved it,
brisket.
though. We're in the minority.
I think people feel like they have to like it.
The fried turkey was good, but everybody agreed not as good as the baked turkey. And I just couldn't believe that the smoked turkey was the favorite across the board. People who don't like duck, people who don't like deer, they were all like, the smoked turkey.
I don't think that they like it. I think that smoking a turkey takes a lot of effort and a lot of time, and so you kind of feel like you have to say
20
that
hours.
Like, I know. So you got to be like, thanks, Bob, for smoking the turkey. It's delicious. This is the nastiest
But
thing I've ever had.
gratitude, you started this out. That's a virtue.
No, it is, but I'm saying they didn't actually like
Started
it.
out saying you weren't grateful, and now he's condemning the grateful.
I'm not condemning the grateful. I'm saying
See how I tied that together for you?
I'm condemning the lying because they're grateful for things. They're not grateful for the smoked turkey because it's never been good.
Maybe someone else at the table is not grateful, and he's projecting that on you.
That's how it goes sometimes, I think. Yeah.
And you expect persecution, and you help it, and you
Yeah, it's not. It's not that it might happen. It's that the Lord promised us we would be persecuted.
Yes, I'm grateful for that persecution.
I
At
put
least that's what I
notes,
pray.
put
Like not just
notes.
when the good stuff happens.
Every year it changes with the fried turkey, and
He's
I
not
have
getting
to
off the fried turkey.
I have to put notes. And one of the things last year, it took the oil an hour and a half to get warm. That was.
That's a broken thing.
Well, I thought it was. It was just a lot of oil. It's peanut oil.
Was it electric or?
It's electric.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
So the year you did the 3, one of them I believe we referred to as the Oppenheimer turkey.
Yes. So
And
I
it
did.
had
I did
everything.
I do like the butter and the Cajun seasoning turkey. That's just good. That's for the kids. Then I do the jalapeno, super spicy, injected with Texas Pete hot sauce turkey, as we've documented many times on the podcast with photos. And then I got a little nuts, and I went into the pepper section at HEB, and I got some serrano peppers. There were multiple jalapenos stuffed in the bird, and this was the last one because you do the just buttery Cajun one for the kids, then you do the hot sauce jalapeno one, and all that juice, all that gets in the oil, and then I did a jalapeno rub on the third turkey with all the serrano and all the pepper habanero. I had that.
Didn't that one end up disappointing you?
It tasted good. It disappointed me in spice. Like I wanted somebody to have to go to the ER. Like
Yeah.
this is too hot. You need like one of those people, and that never happened.
Okay.
And and this is one of the benefits, and I guess struggles with turkey. It's so hard to season it. It's such a dense meat, and I just thought, well, I'm gonna blow the top off of this sucker, and it was amazing how spicy it wasn't.
Okay.
It was good.
those are the hardest disappointments, aren't they? Steve? When you disappoint yourself.
I don't know what to say.
I was trying to get back to what we're thankful for.
It was indeed the Oppenheimer. I just don't know why we don't eat this food more often, and I think it's because secretly a lot of people don't like it. Mary Lisa is not a huge fan of just like casseroles and the whole Thanksgiving thing, but she makes it and it's good. But
So the best turkey that you've made, Oppenheimer or otherwise, and the best turkey that you've had, where would it rank in the pantheon of things that you love? Like a good steak or a good rack of ribs?
Way up there.
Way up there?
Yeah, but
you do like turkey.
yeah, but the best turkey I've had is the baked turkey that you stuff the stuffing that you make yourself in between the skin and the turkey, and you rub
Yes.
it down with butter and then salt and pepper, and then put the stuff in, and then you baste it every hour, which is a pain.
Yeah, but
which-
you got to.
and you do it. But part of it is the holiday, right? Mm-hmm. Part of it is the Thanksgiving, is the people that are there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but with the stuffing, if you said we make our own bread from
Yeah.
sourdough starter that has from the 1800s from an Amish family,
It's amazing.
and you've had it,
Yes.
and
But you don't make your own soap and shampoo.
no,
We don't want to give the wrong impression.
No. We do prefer the traditional Latin mass, but we didn't decide to.
You didn't make that jacket.
But we're just overwhelmed. That's why I bought a loom. What? So, what's a loom? And what are you gonna do? And anyway, no, we don't do that. But we do make. Our own.
Actually, to make producer John uncomfortable, you should have been like, "Yeah, and we make our own toothpaste."
Have you? But we don't brush our teeth. Have you been to the wherever grocery store, the Piggly Wiggly or whatever? Those boules, they call them B-O-U-L-E, of bread are like $10.
Oh yeah,
When
all
you make
that
it
stuff.
yourself, it's like 58 cents. Anyway, because all of us have between us to 158 children, and so we got to make a lot of bread.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, yes, in my top 10 meals, and you and I share a proclivity towards culinary delights within reason, and I was just talking so Sean wouldn't know what we're saying. And
Proclivity.
Big, where he's
Word of
looking
the
it
day.
up right now. By the way,
It's
on
not
the,
a-
if you can't see
that's
Sean,
not a
on the
side dish at
big
Thanksgiving.
Proclivity. I don't like proclivity. That
that a-
gives you the run.
Is that a sweet potato?
So yes, the slice of sourdough with the basted stuffing and a slice of turkey in my top 10. Ossobuco's in my top 10.
Ooh, yes. I made that at your recommendation. Not at your recommendation, but you introduced me to it. So we
Fantastic,
made
huh?
it. Yeah, it was amazing.
Meat. So steak,
You thought I was confused.
steak, brisket, ribs take the top 3. Yeah, the fried turkey is probably it's in the top 10. It's 8 or
Okay.
9. It's,
Okay.
it's down. But if you gave me, you always talking about like if you gave me a homemade lasagna, I would rather have that than the fried turkey.
Sure.
Yeah. So as far as just all foods, and then we haven't even gotten into like fajitas or enchiladas or Mexican food or Chinese food or sushi. So
I'm surprised you said that. People who have a lot of children don't like lasagna because that's what everybody delivers to your doorstep when you have a child. And once you're on like number 7 or 8, for me, I have a psychologic. I think I might have loved lasagna at one time, but now I associate it with not really reheated through, but you just don't know how long the kids can wait anymore.
I
so
think
you have to serve it partially.
Mary Lisa's used the term, I think it's white trash, in that I love all the like if you just take a bunch of crap out of your pantry and
yeah,
you
your
throw it in a
casserole.
casserole. Oh yeah, I love it. And she doesn't. And so I'm like eating out of the leftovers like the Sunday after Thanksgiving, and she's like, I think I'm gonna throw up. And so no, if you drop this is the random thing about me because I am kind of a germ freak, but if you drop off a casserole on my front porch, I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah, I'm not a casserole guy.
And that's been one of the benefits of our being blessed with fertility and having 8 children is that people just bring items to your house for you to eat.
Don't do it. And the chili, people will put anything in. Like I love chili,
I love
but I
chili.
make my own chili, and it's each ingredient is lovingly prepared.
Right.
But just the dumping in of the. Well, how long is that a half can of tomato sauce? Just dump. It's chili.
It's chili.
It's chili. What about this coffee? You gonna finish that?
What? Let's.
What are you talking about?
What's the liquid that you put in your chili? Like, do you use broth?
My chili, my venison chili, I do not use broth. I use beer, which I don't drink, but I use it in cooking. I use beer and water. Venison, by the way, stands up to the chili spices really well. And so I prefer non-beef chili. I like
Vegetarian chili?
non-beef.
Anything? No cow. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, if you want to get online, there's a white chicken chili that's one of the best meals I've ever had. And you can go to Lewis and Clark restaurant in St. Charles, Missouri. And it's so popular, they put the recipe online. I think I've sent it to you before. And
I just wouldn't feel like a man if I had chicken chili.
well, there's so many other reasons, Sean, why you should.
Why should I feel like a man? I might as well just pile
just go
the chicken chili.
Switch
ain't
from
gonna-
coffee to
it's
tea.
not gonna matter. The chicken
Coffee
chili's
to
not the
tea.
difference.
You might want to go to tea.
Oh
And,
gosh.
but yeah, so try it out. I highly recommend Lewis and Clark's white chicken chili, one of the best. And I don't like beans in chili. I think it's filler.
I like beans. The people that I don't want to cast
In chili.
judgment. In chili, I like beans in chili.
Why?
Because mine is flavorful, and so the beans taste good. It's not Yankee chili. It's hot. It's
Yankee.
spicy.
Yankees put beans.
You're gonna be glad. Yeah, they do. They do. And authentic Texas chili does not have beans. I think that's a flaw. People are like, that's not real Texas
My
chili.
roommate in college called them Boston bean-loving losers. Because they put because they put beans in their chili, and he was from New York City where they don't.
Yeah.
I've never had it without beans.
It's It's fine. It's good, but you have to. The problem is some of those chilies with all meat don't have enough meat to make up for.
I know.
Seems like a problem.
I have beef and sausage in my chili, and
I'm
beans.
against it.
I don't
And
hate
sausage
beans,
chili.
but I don't care. They do nothing for me.
Right.
So I would like to try without.
So what you do
It's
if you want
good
to try
without-
it, you take your half of your meat. First of all, you use a reasonable volume of meat. Don't cheap out.
Right.
Secondly, you do half of it cubed in and people say, what size? So your kid doesn't choke. I don't know what size. Cube it. And
It is funny how
yeah, they're like everybody like hangs on the wrong thing. But what exactly? I don't know. It's chili. Cook it. Stop whining. And half ground. And that's the way you sort of get the texture of like something to chew on. And that's how we do it. We cube up in a size appropriate for your family.
Do you
and
sear
your
the
faith
meat?
tradition?
Do you sear the meat before you put it in?
Always.
Yeah.
Always. You got to do the work. That's why the people that don't do the work are like, I don't know what it is. Throw it in the chili. You know, there's even a word for that. It's chili pot, right?
Yeah.
Everything goes into it. So that's not it. By the way, I made fun of coffee. That was just because it's like old coffee. But one of the best chilies I ever had coffee in it. 1 cup of coffee. That's an excellent.
That probably was.
That's an excellent addition, especially if you're using game meats. But the secret, the nuclear weapon for people who don't like chili, is plain, not vanilla, plain yogurt. And if you use a cup of plain yogurt in your chili,
To sweeten it?
no, it's a texture. It makes it really creamy and more like a fine soup than a chutney.
That would feel odd.
Do it.
Making the chili and
Do
then
it. Why
putting the
can't you
yolk plate in
branch
there.
out? You want some tea? You want some tea?
I don't.
I wouldn't feel like a man putting yogurt, but you like yogurt separately. How is that any different?
I don't know. Yogurt and chili.
Plain yogurt. People put sour cream in there.
I think
You don't even
that's
know what
gross.
yogurt is.
My kids do
You don't
that.
even know
My
what yogurt
kids
is.
put all the sour cream in there because they say it's too spicy.
How did we go from turkey to chili?
I don't know. I don't know. It was all.
I'm not
natural.
complaining. It was a great conversation.
all
I was just
natural.
trying to trace the lineage.
Yeah, we can.
I'm thankful for chili.
Great.
That's how.
Excellent.
You don't really like Thanksgiving food, right? Though.
No, I've never had your turkey. I've never had your turkey. I would quite likely, but
But what
had
about
my
the
chili.
dressing and the stuffing? and-
out on dressing and stuffing.
Gosh,
Don't like
that's
it.
the best.
No, don't like cranberries. Don't.
No.
What about green beans, like fresh green bean casserole?
Casserole.
Casserole.
You lost me at casserole.
Me too. Love fresh green beans.
Yeah.
Sweet potato casserole.
No. Out.
With the brown sugar on
If it's got the
top.
word casserole, don't want it.
Yep.
You're from Wisconsin.
I know. This is why I learned to cook.
Yep.
Okay, I believe you.
And he's a
okay,
good cook. And he's
Yeah.
right. And he's right. Why do you have to do that? Why do you have to mix sweet and savory?
Is
Why can't-
macaroni and cheese a Thanksgiving staple?
I would be okay with that.
I don't think
There's
the
some really good
pilgrims
types
were
of
like
macaroni
the
and cheese.
pilgrims are like, hold on, Leanne, bring out the macaroni and cheese to go with the turkey.
But this is great because if you go to, say, Georgia or South Carolina, that's a vegetable. What do you want for your vegetable? Macaroni and cheese or Jell-O?
They do. They say that.
Yeah.
They do say that. We got. Your vegetable is either grits or French fries, or do we still have grits? Yeah, or grits. You said that already.
Well, because we always have like 50 kids at our house for Thanksgiving, my sister-in-law will bring this massive pot of like gourmet, authentic, awesome mac and cheese, and it's all for the kids. It's over in the corner. It's for the kids, and like every adult goes over there and is like, I'm
Yeah.
getting some of this.
I like the mac and cheese that they use good macaroni of any type, and then they have like Gruyere or it's not
Yeah.
just and they actually bake it, and
Right.
it's a good dish, and I have no objection to that at Thanksgiving or otherwise, but the one where it's like the powdered packet with milk and stuff like that.
The craft, no.
Yeah, but I didn't want to not the company.
we
but-
can't- we
yeah,
can't.
That's right.
I can't list
Mr.
brands. So what happens when you have the lawyer on.
Mr. Kraft.
Kraft macaroni stinks.
But you know what I mean, in a box, anything in a box.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a decent one. But that doesn't violate the rule of why do you have to put cranberries? on your turkey. You know, why do you? I mean, you can have cranberry sauce if you want cranberry sauce. Like, but do you have to have dessert at the same time? Like, can't you have dessert?
No, and there's like marshmallow casserole stuff, which
There's marshmallows on the sweet potatoes.
Right,
There,
yeah.
sweet's in the name.
No,
you don't need marshmallows.
It's it's all over the place when you look at a plate. It's like half dessert, carb, and then the turkey.
Some people get the sweet potato casserole, and the macaroni and cheese casserole, and then they get the turkey and the stuffing, and when they take their plate up, the turkey's still on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
They never eat the turkey. Before we move on, you'll appreciate this cracks, because there is this thing where we want the slop and the garbage because we're Americans. There's a great All in the Family episode where Archie and Edith are hosting Thanksgiving, and like Edith's friend is coming over, and she's like, oh, she's bringing the cranberries. Like, okay. And so she shows up and she's like, and this is a fresh cranberry casserole. And it's like the real cranberries. And he goes, you don't have any of that good stuff that slides out of the can? It's great. I don't like cranberry sauce either. I like Mary Lisa's cranberries because they're covered.
cranberries are delicious. Cranberries, both dried cranberries and fresh cranberries, are delicious. That stuff in the can is obscene. And I mean, I guess it's good if you're stuck in a wilderness or something. But
I think that's what most people. Do you eat that?
I'm out on.
You're not a Thanksgiving, because I love Thanksgiving.
No, yeah.
I know. It's.
I challenged
way
the
up
listeners one year to just reject turkey entirely and have steak, and somebody wrote back and said that that's what they do.
You can't do that. That's un-American. We have to honor tradition. And so I don't agree with that. And the people that are like, we're doing something different this year, we're having tamales. No. You can do that for Christmas. That's all cool.
I love tamales.
Me too.
I might
eat tamales
might
next to the
actually-
turkey. If you brought them to my house at Thanksgiving, I'd be like, perfect.
Definitely trade everything else.
Yeah,
for
and you
fuck.
refried beans to go with that? Yeah, but the like, we're going to be cool and make chicken Alfredo, I have no use for those people, and they shouldn't be allowed to live in our country.
Well, that's very thankful.
As we transition into
Did
some
he
of the
start this out
victories.
with being
You just said
ungrateful?
he's transitioning.
We don't use that word.
No, we're taking it
Moving
back.
on.
We're moving on. Okay. One thing to be grateful for in the 40 Days for Life family, the federal defunding of Planned Parenthood. There we go.
Big year.
Big year.
I'm surprised you said that, of all people, given the state you live in.
That I'm grateful for the defunding of Planned Parenthood.
That just last week, Planned Parenthood in
Yeah.
your state claimed that they're not defunded.
Yeah, I still can't quite figure out
Who can?
what that is about.
You just change something in your mission statement and
Yeah.
you get your Title 10 money back.
I identify as not defunded.
Yeah,
Where's the
exactly. That's
check?
exactly what they're doing. But I'm
We
a
have
black
some-
lab.
we
You're not
have-
a black lab. You're a brown lab or a chocolate lab. No. Not
With-
if I need to. I'm a chocolate lab.
Wisconsin's not one of them, but we have 4 Planned Parenthood free states: Louisiana, God bless them, Mississippi, Wyoming, and North Dakota. There's a lot more of these on the way. There's going to be this time next year, there'll be a lot more Planned Parenthood free states. That's not abortion free necessarily, but it's Planned Parenthood free.
Yeah, because dozens of Planned Parenthoods have closed. More are coming.
Over 60 this year.
Some big news that came out of California, which I thought was particularly revealing. Nothing we don't know and the listeners don't know, but Planned Parenthood in California had an operation they called Melody Health, which was meant to be a Planned Parenthood branded primary care practice. So we hear Planned Parenthood talk about their devotion to comprehensive women's health care. They get defunded, and what's the first thing they throw overboard? Their primary care clinic. We're going to go in on abortions. They're going to keep doing abortions. We'll get rid of the primary care. And so I think it really...
It's almost like there's a possibility that they don't mean what they say.
I'm starting to think
It's on
so.
the table.
I mean, that's in the mix, right?
I'm starting to think so,
It's
yeah.
like a casserole.
Look at this.
Just throw some defunding.
Yeah.
and a
Don't
can of
get
soup.
me all excited. Okay, these layoffs. So they have fired a lot of people. Planned Parenthood of Orange and where am I?
San Bernardino.
San Bernardino counties, 81 jobs.
That was part
80
of the Melody Health closure, but that's a lot of jobs.
That's a lot of jobs. Planned Parenthood North Central State, which is Minnesota and Iowa, 66 jobs and 37 transfers. Planned Parenthood Greater Ohio, we were talking about them. They fired 20 people, 20 jobs, gone.
Yeah.
They put abortion in their constitution. Apparently, you can still affect the bottom line of a Planned Parenthood even when they have it in their state constitution. Planned Parenthood Great Rivers, is an unknown number of layoffs.
Yeah, so that's the article just said. Like, what does that mean? The article just said they're doing layoffs, but
That's Missouri, Illinois.
right.
That
Yep.
we filed the IRS complaint.
Here's some fun ones. Planned Parenthood Gulf Coast, 114 layoffs.
So this one is fun, I think, because when I was looking up where are they firing people, most of the sources on our little outline here, we've got little footnotes, and most of it would be CBS News or whatever local newspaper, and it was focusing on the defunding. The articles were about Planned Parenthood, about abortion. The Houston one was just part of the Houston job market and a wave of layoffs in Houston. It's like, what is driving this? Well, Planned Parenthood layoffs are driving a wave of job losses in the Gulf Coast.
Planned Parenthood Marmonte, 120 jobs.
Yeah, significant.
That's more than the Gulf Coast. Okay, another thing that we're grateful for, and this is some.
Of course, they use it as a sword and a shield. They really could advertise these too as look what you're doing to reproductive rights, right? Like hundreds and hundreds of people.
I think they should.
Yeah. They're not.
They're not.
But
They have
could
an
use it as
incompetent
it's an idea.
leader.
It's not a how-to.
No,
But they could be doing it. This is one of those ones where you can't lose, right?
but why? And I thought about this. I was out there. We had a prayer event outside of Planned Parenthood in Houston on their last day, September 30th, when they closed. And we were out there. People are giving talks. Father Felix led a rosary. The whole time I'm like, why is Alexis McGill Johnson not down here with TV cameras in front of this place?
No.
She could raise a fortune
'Cause they've-
off of, do a tour.
They've been
Look how
convinced- yeah.
we remodeled it. We put in all this work. Tens of thousands of women
No women
have
will
come
benefit
here
from this.
Exactly. And we have to close because of Donald Trump and his ego. And
Because ever since what's her name stepped down,
Cecil Richards.
yeah, they've been a riderless horse.
They have been, but there's still a billion-dollar organization. Isn't it common sense to just turn up the bad news and try to raise money off of it?
I'll tell you something I'm thankful for: not having to stand, and for all of you Houstonians not having to stand.
I know.
Because as you know, they built that Planned Parenthood next to the sun.
And it's
So it's 50,000 degrees outside. And you literally, remember my daughter fainted?
yes.
I mean, literally people are dropping. They're killing people inside and out.
outside. Maybe a blood sugar issue.
Well, I mean, it may not be actually a direct relation. Never stopped them from their
Never
logic.
stopped it. But I did have I've been down there hundreds of times, right? And I remember the first time I brought you. I remember the first time I brought Ramona. It's depressing, for lack of better words. It's just overwhelming. So I'm driving my truck down to go to
What's depressing?
that massive Planned Parenthood.
I thought it was kind of nice. It looked like a corporate set.
Yeah, it was nice. You drive over the hill, right, and you see it. And I'm driving down there on September 30th, and I go, I'll never come here ever again in my entire life. It hit me at that moment, and it was like the first time I drove into this place, which I still get a little creeped out whenever I drive in. I feel like they're going to call the cops on me. But the realizing you don't have to go out there anymore, that it's over, is a great feeling. Okay, abortion rates are dropping. Here we go. The first half of 2025, clinician-provided
And
abortions.
you did a podcast on. I'm also thankful. Sorry, the other big one.
Oh, Manhattan.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean that's the same thing too. I hope Aurora closes.
I do too. I do both Auroras.
But
by the
I'm
way.
thankful for. Yes, exactly. But I am also. I just wanted to throw in. I'm thankful for. I've been in front of the New York one at Broadway many more times. Margaret Sanger Way, until even they pulled the sign down. Never thought that would happen. The strife there, the many abortion groups, the many people who. But anyway, I wanted to add in. It's not just the. It's two of the largest in the Western Hemisphere.
Well, and
the flagship.
the Manhattan one is the largest victory, I think, in the history of 4 Days for Life.
And like you said, they're not there like, what a shame.
No, they Alexis McGill Johnson has botched, pun intended, the overturning of Roe and the defunding and everything else. I mean, she is not an effective leader at all, and you don't see her. Remember, this is so funny.
If you ask,
remember when Trump was running in 15 and 16? What happened to Romney? Had this great debate in 2012, and he lost. He lost big, but he disappeared. We didn't know where he went. He couldn't find him. Where did he go? I don't know where he went. And everybody started thinking, like, where did he go? Like, was he captured by aliens? Because Trump's like, he disappeared and he let the whole country down because he let Obama get reelected.
If you were to take a survey of all executive director, Planned Parenthood executive director, who's the best and who's the worst head of Planned Parenthood in the last 35, 40 years, what would it?
Cecile Richards is Tom Brady. And she was 12 years, right?
I don't think really Tom Brady appreciates it. But
but she was, Cecile Richards was unbelievable.
The greatest of all time.
And she came in, look at the Daleiden thing, okay? People forget in 2015, that scandal was so big. This wasn't just one Fox News.
This is the body parts.
Yeah, the baby body parts. He was on CNN. He was on MSNBC. This is where even the
and which almost everybody's against.
Of course. And the liberals are going, what the hell were y'all doing? Like, it's just crazy. And Cecile Richards goes out and, she lied a lot, but manages it, plows through, highly edited videos. They lose a lot. I think they lost 36% of their donors as a result of that when we went back and looked at their annual report. And then she gets a gift. She got the election of Donald Trump, which you would think they had the baby body parts and now they've got a Republican as president. No, she's like, finally, I have the devil who's against me. And she made him the devil, and she raised a record $88 million that following year, made up for everything. And then it was all about Trump at that point. And they, moved forward and got more tax funding and all that other stuff. So they had Gloria Felt was not very good. She was in 2005. She's the one that came up. She got too cute. And so she had the Choice on Earth Christmas cards, where even they sold like 3 of them to their own people. But she wanted the news story, and it was a big backlash. She also created the I Had an Abortion t-shirt. She was kind of on the early end of, we're not apologizing for this. This isn't a difficult, we need to be proud of our abortion. And that was never the case, and now it's like you want to dance around in a costume. But back in 2005, when she did the I Had an Abortion t-shirt, that literally cost her job. They fired her over that.
Well, and I think so I think everyone is in agreement on Cecile Richards, right, being the most effective. But when you ask about who, even amongst, they're trying to remember. I mean, some of them came and went like a tornado, right? And it's like, I'm not even sure I could list them. And
part of it is, that's a good point.
So many bad ones, but they had so much overturn.
But who's your audience as president and CEO of Planned Parenthood? And I think that was hard for them to figure out.
Yeah.
Leanna Wen was a good hire, the Chinese doctor. And she came out and she wrote, her emotional, strife from her miscarriage as an op-ed. And the late, great Sue Thayer was like, oh, I saw that. I was like, that's not going to be good. They're not going to like that. And they didn't. They fired her. And so, but
how long did she last? That's the
point. Year?
Not even. Or just about a year.
But what's the audience now? You've got to be pro-trans. When you look at what Alexis McGill Johnson discusses, gun control, pro-trans, and all the gender, nonsense, immigration, which they're all obsessed with. What about a woman's right to choose? Like, how does that, in the end, and we do this a lot with 40 Days for Life, but one thing I try to highlight in every speech or whatever, mainly speeches, is abortion kills a baby. And that's where we live at 40 Days for Life. Abortion kills a baby. We don't need to protect free speech if it doesn't kill a baby. We don't need to go recruit volunteers. Go volunteer somewhere else. Don't waste your time. But abortion kills a baby, and we can never get away from that. And we can also never get away from the fact that volunteers participate in 40 Days for Life because they want to save a baby. And nothing gets a better response than sending out a saved baby or twins or whatever. That's just foundation. We do all this other stuff, but it boils down to that. Planned Parenthood's lost that. It is about a woman's right to abortion. That's where you live. Nothing can get in the way. Not Trump, not 40 Days, nobody. That is fundamental. And they've just gotten away from that since Cecile Richards. And you even look at some of those early clips when this infanticide stuff was getting nuts, and the lady in Florida, right? And she she was the epitome of a Planned Parenthood leader because she's sitting there going, so the senator's like, the baby survives the abortion, the baby's on the table. We believe in a woman's right and access to abortion. Okay, but what do we do when the baby is alive on the table? It's very important to us that the woman and her doctor make decisions for her health. She's just doing the party line, and the guy was great because she said, it is important that the doctor consult with his patient. He switched the language, not the woman, but the patient. Or she switched the language, I think just subconsciously. She said it's between the doctor and the patient, and the senator said, but madam, with all due respect, at this point, isn't the baby the patient? And she said, I don't know how to answer that. It was awesome, right? But you sit there for 10 minutes, and she's just saying the same thing. That's where they should live, and they've gotten away from that, and there's huge mission drift. You should follow them. Well, you shouldn't follow them on Twitter. We do that for you. But when you follow them on Twitter,
they can't help themselves.
They can't.
It's still 2020 to Planned Parenthood.
And I think donors notice this kind of crap because when you start doing all this stuff, and it's a temptation for any organization, you just see people that are, commenting. Of course, we're discussing chili, but we all know that chili is pro-life and very crucial to the culture war. But when you start, let's say you're 75 years old, you're a boomer, and you marched, and you believe in women's rights, and you want abortion. Who really represents you right now? Like, we're all single-issue people. Mm-hmm. This is like our big cause. Well, they have those people too. And who represents them? Like, the pro-lifers are like, thank God 40 Days for Life is on the sidewalks. Thank God we have these pregnancy centers. Thank God Trump is pro-life. They're pointing to things that their issue that's important to them is out there. Planned Parenthood's not doing that. They used to do it. They owned it. It was their space. And
it's fracturing them in many ways. We've talked about the labor disputes that they've had, the unionization. It's very difficult to have woke employees because they're never satisfied and they're always looking to take somebody down. But we also see right now in the state of Georgia, Planned Parenthood, apparently some of these woke employees think that Planned Parenthood in Georgia is not sufficiently committed to abortion. And so they're going public and blasting Planned Parenthood. They're demanding the CEO resign, all sorts of chaos. So then another independent abortion agency comes in and says, unlike Planned Parenthood, we are resolute in our commitment to abortion. And so it's just a complete free-for-all.
I understand that.
Well, that's one of the issues that we keep talking about Planned Parenthood, but there's a lot of abortions committed by a lot of other abortionists, and a lot of them are independent, and some have 4 or 5 places, but they must be disappointed, right? Because they do abortion. Like, they're not the... And I remember one time one of the moral majority leaders saw one of the bishops from Arlington Diocese on the corner at the March for Life. And he came up and he gave him a hug and he said, Bishop, thank God for the Catholic Church because we would have no voice in Congress. Great, because it's organized. It's sort of like even though they're evangelicals or Protestants or whatever and they don't agree in the church, they agree that the Catholics are carrying because they got mojo, right? They got a PAC or whatever they have in Congress, and they have a voice, a consolidated 1.5 billion people, and that's kind of like Planned Parenthood drags along every other abortionist because there's no that I know of like abortionist association that is listened to by anybody, but they're into so many other things and claim that they do so many other things, whereas other abortionists are like, but I'm not doing trans surgery. I don't believe in that. Why do I have to believe in gay marriage to do abortions? Like, why do I have to? And yet they get dragged along. And so I think that's why we talk about Planned Parenthood. It's really the voice of choice, right?
It's a great point.
And of course.
And a local abortionist doesn't have the resources to lobby. And
I'll tell you something I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for my mother and your mother and your mother that they chose life. And I think I'm thankful that people are starting to realize, but isn't life a choice? We're writing a letter to the Washington Attorney General, and they do. Well, you and I were just in Wisconsin. And don't you know that in Wisconsin, they say, don't you know in Wisconsin? Don't you know that in Wisconsin, at the height.
Is that a Minnesota thing? Are you offended at this?
There's enough crossover that.
Have you ever seen Steve offended?
No.
Yeah.
It's one of
He's
my
not
goals.
offended.
I tried to insult him for not making fried turkey. He's like, we don't actually host Thanksgiving. And that was the end of the conversation.
They did 20,000 abortions a year at their height in Wisconsin. But even that year, they had 60,000 live births. So overwhelmingly, 75% of the time, women choose life in Wisconsin. That's a choice too. But yet the government doesn't support them, right? Because they have a gay senator or something. Like, what does that have to do? I thought you supported choice. Don't you also represent the 75% of people who no? And all the abortionists have to go along with that. And they're like, but we're not trying to kill all the babies. We're just trying to kill the babies of the women who want to. Like I have kids. And so I think that is, nobody knows who anybody is except for Cecile Richards at Planned Parenthood. Nobody knows. They come and they go. And I know this. I mean, I've talked to and been involved in, and it'll come out when it's made public, lawsuits and stuff like that and they're like, I'm not really sure. When you ask the guy, like, who's the vice president of the United States? And they're like, I have no idea. It's kind of like that, but you're a Planned Parenthood director in Topeka. Still, I don't know. I don't know who it is.
We have some great, if you're driving to your Thanksgiving relative's house right now and you're in the car, well, yeah, just go back and listen to this. Don't write it down. You'll crash. Great Steve Carlin nerd stats that are awesome that we need to be grateful for. Number 1, travel for abortion is down 8%. Now, they're claiming it's because the funds for abortion travel are strained.
Which is a great reason.
Great reason. Here we go. South Carolina abortion numbers down 63%. Even though it's worse after Roe. No, it's not. It's better. Florida abortion numbers down 40% in the first half of 2025. Iowa abortion numbers down 60% from 23 to 24. New Mexico abortion, these skyrocketed because everybody in Texas got on their horse and their donkey and went to West Texas to have an abortion because Texas is so evil. No, New Mexico abortions went down 11% from 2023 to 2024. That's a shocking stat.
This is the best number, I think. And it's interesting to me because what do you point to? It's not that there was suddenly an injunction and the Texas women could abort in Texas. No, we know Texas abortion numbers are way down. We'll get to that in just a moment. But there's no sort of explanation for, well, here's why it's actually not that good of news. This is a state that went as radical as it could on abortion.
And we're saying that because there has been this disease in the pro-life movement among some pro-lifers of just not acknowledging goodness and not owning the wins. And we need to own the wins. It doesn't mean we live. I hate if something's going well, it means you're a sucker and you have your head buried in the sand. That's just not the case. Like, there's actual good news out there. And so
it's why the travel going down is important. Because you could explain why abortions are down in Texas if they were up in New Mexico and the travel was up. But when they're down in both, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Missouri, Texas, whatever, and the travel's down, then they've lost there's nowhere to turn. There's nowhere to turn. And by the way, it is a big deal. I mean, abortions were 0 in Wisconsin for a week or a month? They just...
Month of October.
Not, or at least at Planned Parenthood. They just stopped doing it. I mean, it does make a huge difference. But when it's all down, it's down.
Yes. Yeah, and this is why Illinois numbers were down 9% in the first half of the year after a slight drop the previous year. You could equivocate on that. Well, maybe it's because the women weren't coming from Missouri anymore. That's part of it. It's not the whole thing. But New Mexico, this is my favorite number here.
Iowa's down 60%. I mean, that's crazy. Iowa at one point was the 4th largest Planned Parenthood affiliate in the country. It's crazy. Okay.
And New Mexico is abortion on demand for free from any state. So they have really no argument.
Colorado saw a 14% drop in abortions just this year, the first half of 2025. And here we go. This is the number. And I've really tried. I've tried to be nice. I've actually tried to be mean. And some people just won't believe me. But you can trust this research. It's from Steve. And he's never wrong. He's never been wrong. Texas went from 4,400 abortions a month to 5 a month.
Actually, there's more abortions in Texas now.
Oh, sorry.
I saw some guy on the internet say that.
Okay, sorry. I've even 4,400 a month is a smaller number than 5 a month. So I stand corrected. People tell me there's more. Yeah, I don't want to offend. But people have told me there's like triple the amount of abortions. And I know we're going to get into the stockpiling, the pills and all that. But we're enforcing our laws in Texas. And you want to talk about, going the full throttle other direction. Our AG is charging this guy with capital murder in Fort Worth for spiking his girlfriend's drink. She didn't want to get an abortion, and so he slipped her RU-46, and the baby died. Murder. He is being prosecuted. Of course, you can't prosecute the woman, and so he's prosecuting the boyfriend, okay, because she wanted the baby. We don't have the electric chair anymore. We do. We just don't use it. So he's going to get the death penalty if he's convicted. Now, I don't want to get into all the death penalty stuff, but the point is they're enforcing the law as they would for if he'd walked in and slit his cousin's throat. So that people don't mess with that. I think that there's if the pro-life naysayers that are like, it hasn't changed anything, everybody's getting abortions, all that, well, then you better never advocate for another pro-life law ever again. Because if you have pro-life laws and you say they do nothing, what are we doing?
One of the many problems with the abortion pill is, and you say you make this stuff up, Matt. I don't, and you know that, right? Because you guys used to think you always use these stories, and then we had
nobody's gonna end up.
Nobody's gonna abduct somebody and move to Canada and then come back and so anyway, and they could
actually happens.
and I don't make this up, but with the proliferation of abortion pills and the on-demand access and the stockpiling of millions and millions by states doing it. And by the way, nobody ever brings up the argument, how does the state sell it? Isn't that against the Commerce Clause? That's the state taking over what could be private business. When it's abortion pills, everything's off the table, right? And so they're selling all this stuff. How many, and this is an actual case, so a dude is married to a woman, there are women, and they get pregnant, and she's pregnant, and he says, we have enough kids, I don't want to do this, whatever, you need to get an abortion. She's like, I would never get an abortion, I would never get an abortion. So the dude has a pregnant sister. So he says, hey, sis, explains the situation, so she calls up, gets the pills by the mail, gives them to the dude, and he puts them in your crappy tuna casserole. And she has an abortion and thinks she has a miscarriage, and he, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And how many times, that's a real story, and how many times does that happen? So now, because otherwise you're abducting, yes, does it happen, forced abortions? Yeah, but you're abducting them, kicking and screaming, and people are calling 911, this girl's crying and she's being dragged in. Nobody knows about the sneaky abortion kill in the tuna casserole.
Right. Drugging.
It wasn't a tuna casserole.
Drugging your wife, girlfriend, fiance.
It wasn't a tuna casserole. It was a fried turkey.
No.
Never had. Couldn't be.
No pro-abortion person has fried turkey.
How horrible is that?
Yeah.
You now have like.
We documented it numerous times in What to Say When To, and we stopped the list not because we were out of examples, but because you can just we proved our point, and now it has only increased. And obviously we don't.
You should
have
have called me.
It also.
I had some more examples.
We had them too.
He didn't want to call you.
But that was for a different.
That was different.
That's because I show him his real self. He appreciates it in his heart after he stops crying.
It also points to our point that it's a man's world. Mm-hmm. That the bad men win with abortion. We got abortion pills. Great. That benefits.
Oh, and men convinced women
Absolutely.
that if they had abortion, they'd be equal to men.
No,
and they
100%.
did nothing about the true disparity in the pay in the workplace, disparity of access to education, disparity of nothing about that. Just tell them that they can have sex on demand without consequences like men, and they'll be equal. And they bought it.
Women are dying more from lack of access. I'm teasing. Maternal mortality rates are down.
There was a great article that said something about in the wake of Roe v. Wade being overturned, experts are concerned about a rise in maternal mortality. And then if you read all the way down to the 14th paragraph, I'm not making this up, 14th paragraph said, now actually the maternal mortality rates are down, but experts are concerned.
Experts are concerned. Okay.
You talked about the state numbers going down. I just want to point out here, are we cherry picking? No, the Guttmacher Institute shows that first half of 2025, clinician-provided abortions in the U.S. down 5%. What does clinician-provided mean? That does include telemed. That does include virtual providers. It does not cover abortions that are distributed via shield laws. So it's hard to count abortions, but undoubtedly, the trend is in the right direction for the last year.
By the way, it should be. It's common sense. They overturned Roe. The pro-life movement's built for this, as we've talked about in the grassroots. Women don't really want to have an abortion as is. It's in the news all the time. We're more educated about abortion than we ever have been on both sides, and it's going to go down. It's just going to go down. So, okay. 94 cities are now abortion-free after 40 Days for Life campaigns. We talked about that on the webcast. If you haven't listened to the webcast, by the way, that we did last week, go and to the YouTube page and watch that. Got a lot of good stuff in there.
Does that include referrals centers?
No. It's the number gets higher if you add those.
It gets a lot higher. Yeah, those are abortion. That's a good question. That's abortion facilities that all of them in any given town, College Station being an example, closed, and they no longer have abortion, which I think College Station is the largest college town in America that does not have an abortion provider.
So the other thing there's a million ways you can look at this number, and you could come up with different numbers depending on how you want to calculate it. But 94 cities are now abortion center free. So what that means is Houston's not on that list. There's not abortions in Houston, but they still have some of the facilities that used to perform abortions are still open. So there's probably, if you want to take a look at all the pro-life states that are no longer doing abortion, that number will get higher. We're just talking about 94 cities where the last abortion facility closed following a 40 Days for Life campaign and is completely out of business, not just not doing abortions.
That used to have it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small number, right, compared to the actual. It's like when you look at the map when a Democrat will win, and like 99.9% of the country is red, right? And like 0.01 is blue, but they won. And I'm not doubting that they won, but that's where the population.
That's where the population.
But if you look, most places don't. Most cities don't have it, right? Most places don't have it and never did. But these are the ones that did and don't. That was my point.
No, it's
so it's a huge number.
It's
That
a
was
huge
the case
number.
Even before the defunding, even before 40 Days for Life, you would hear abortion supporters. I can't remember the number, but it's 85% of counties in America don't have an abortion provider. Well, if it was 85, it's higher than that now.
Yeah. No, and that's always a fun stat.
And 85 voted for Trump.
Speaking of, pro-abortion's a political loser, which we've been saying. Kamala ran on it, but the Washington Post had that great article on. I'll read one of the quotes. 3 years after the Supreme Court Dobbs decision leak, the issue's prominence has faded, and it has.
Pro-abortion's a loser though because people don't care about it. You know, in this Democrat,
it's not a positive.
In this Democrat sweep, recently. They interviewed everybody polling, and they said, what are the big issues? And, of course, it was immigration, no, and abortion, no. Those issues that everybody thought was going to be gun control, nope. Violence, nope. It was the economy, stupid. Not even health care. That was like 59% was the economy, affordability of groceries, and all the other ones were like 10 or 11% or less. It was amazing. People think that is what you can run on, and you just can't. You can't. Most people don't think about it and don't want to.
Which works for us because I think sometimes there's this idea that to end abortion, we need 51% of the people to be behind us. No. And really, all meaningful social change has not taken place like that. It's a committed minority.
The homosexuals are the best example of that.
I mean, so if everyone else is worried about the economy, that makes your everyday 40 Days for Life participating pro-lifer, the voice is more effective and amplified.
You need 51% of the people who care or have a vote.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what you need. So if 11% of the population care, then you only need 6%, right? So, I mean, yeah, it's a great point, and people don't understand that. And it's much less than that because there's 535 people in Congress, so you really only need 51% of them.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing to be grateful for, which we've covered on the podcast, the collapse of the pride trans movement, the woke, the DEI. It's obviously not the collapse, but it's the the foot's off the gas and the car's kind of coasting. People are sort of done with you will celebrate who I have sex with or else. That just was doomed to fail, I think. And they actually got away from like, why can't love be loved? Which is a St. Francis of Assisi quote that they ripped off. But that whole notion of just we support love to this in your face, we're coming after the kids. The whole non-binary thing is totally in decline.
It's a big collapse among college students.
Yes, and funding of the pride events and parades went down in 2025.
You know what didn't go down was hetero awesome fest.
Hetero Awesome Fest is on the rise, and we're still planning a trip up to Idaho to go to that. It's in June, right? It's the whole month of June.
Yeah.
Scott, what's his name?
I can't remember.
Peterson?
No, he's
Eagle Saloon or something like
he's
that.
the Eagle Saloon in
Somewhere in Idaho.
Coolest Eagle Bluff or something, Idaho, and he has a hetero
Awesome Fest.
And they have T-shirts, and it's pretty amazing.
You know, that shows the illogic when they say, who do I care who another person loves? A lot of people get married that in the world. It's such a misogynistic and their own position is bigoted. But a lot of people, like 1.5 billion people, live in India, and a lot of those are arranged marriages. They don't love that person,
Right.
But they still get married. Well, who's talking about love?
Right.
You're talking about love. Like, I'm not against love. They have to love each other. They met in a bar 2 seconds ago. They don't love each other. You know what I mean? I mean, who's talking about? That's why it's so. They've really not just stolen St. Francis, like they steal our logo, but they have bastardized it. They've changed it and made it evil.
Yeah.
It's not love. It's sex.
No, it's just like a rainbow.
I'll make Sean very uncomfortable here. You could change it. Love is love. Sodomy is not.
Yes. Steve uses that S word a lot, and it makes me uncomfortable, especially when he's staring at me. Okay. This is really great. The truth about the abortion pills is getting out. The Ethics and Public Policy Center study that came out last year, it revealed that the real-world use of abortion pills results in serious event rate 22 times higher than the label states. Shocking.
Sounds bad.
And we have a letter on that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, you're going to want to go to the ER is very popular.
And what makes, if I may, our letters different than every other talking head organization, not every other one, but all the ones that I've seen is that we break it into 3 things: bad law, bad medicine, and bad for women in society. And sort of Donato Barillo, who has a great name, but not the best name ever. I think we've had some board members with some pretty cool names.
Yeah, but he's
a great name. He does the medicine, I do the law, and Sean does obviously the oversight and the big issue. And so broken down into that, we have this about the truth about abortion pills and these rates and this new study, and of course a lot of other issues, and they're all divided into bad for society, bad medicine, and bad law. So I hope you take a look at them.
It's really good. This just came out a couple of weeks ago, actually, earlier in November. 71% of the population does not support women accessing abortion pills without a doctor's visit. This is surprising because this means that the rhetoric of the left, which is this is awful what they did with Dobbs, we have to ship abortion pills, we have to give access, no doctor required, which is crazy. 71% of the population doesn't believe in that.
Man, you can't call up with a strep throat for your kids and get antibiotics because they're afraid of MRSA and like we are overprescribing antibiotics, but they can just send this to parts unknown, people unknown, age unknown, and no follow-up. You're only supposed to take it up to 10 weeks, 12 weeks, and then God knows when they take it.
Well, their approach to marketing has been it's safer than
right.
aspirin or whatever.
Yes, I would have guessed at least 50% of the U.S. population thinks abortion pills are very safe. I mean, all the FDA does is brag about how great they are, and 16%? Only 16%? I think that's a huge victory of just public opinion because most people actually
agree on. That's what it is, public opinion.
It is.
Marketing.
Faith is making a comeback. All right, way to go, Steve. You're leading the charge.
I did it.
The declining percentage of Americans who identify as Christian has stabilized. So we were going down, we've stabilized. 18 to 24-year-olds are no less religious than 24 to 34-year-olds.
It's really unprecedented as long as this stuff has been tracked.
Let me ask you this. Are these numbers before or after the assassination of Charlie Kirk?
Before,
because I believe there's enough of those stories where people, we haven't had anything like that. We've never had anything like that in our lifetime.
Right.
I mean, we didn't see Kennedy get shot. Many people did. We saw Charlie Kirk get shot. And in a digital age where it's all over the internet in 2 seconds, unfortunately, that made a lot of people think about God and their relationship with God. So I do think that there's even a larger bump. And, of course, the record demand for 40 Days for Life and the number of new leaders that have come forward. So
and been trained.
So, and thank you for those that gave towards our matching challenge last week so that we could continue to train. We normally don't ask for money on the podcast. We should. Give us some money. So send us some money. We got to train a lot of leaders. If you would like any of the recipes we discussed, please email us at podcast@40daysforlife.com, podcast@40daysforlife.com. We've gotten more than a few requests over the years for, we put my pumpkin seed, Cajun pumpkin seed recipe. That was, came out last October. So please email us at podcast@40daysforlife.com. Send your comments. Do you break the mold and not do a traditional Thanksgiving? Expose yourself to the world by putting
maybe not.
on the
I
YouTube.
don't
Got
agree with that
phrasing.
statement.
We can't expose yourself.
Not good marketing.
Reveal. Sorry.
That's very unsafe.
Sorry. Let's not edit this. Let's leave it. We're going to expose you. No, we're not.
Very unsafe.
Very unsafe. So reveal yourself. Come out of hiding as somebody who eats
Getting worse.
egg rolls on Thanksgiving.
Just
or
vote.
whatever. So rate, review, and share this podcast. Happy Thanksgiving.